Hi everyone, this is the second of the two videos on the challenges and the benefits of um, team or group writing. And in a way, as I was saying, this is a continuation of the points that I was making when I was contrasting 2 weeks ago now, the differences between academic writing on the one hand and professional writing on the other. This is sort of a corollary to that. And in some ways, I think it's more important because I think it's easy to forget this or easy to not quite grasp why group projects and team writing are difficult. There's something I didn't mention in my first video that let me sort of sneak it in here, and that is that I know that amongst students and professors, the team writing tends to have what I might call just a bad reputation, something that is a kind of nuisance. And while everyone sees it as important, I think by and large there's kind of negative feelings about it. And that's what I want to work against right here. That's what I am working against. Because yes, I mean, I certainly see why people could be irritated by this kind of writing. But I think that understood properly and relatively deeply, one sees that this irritation is a sort of shallow response or incomplete response. And in fact, as I've been saying for a month now in our course, that I think professional writing, in my view, and this is someone who's extremely academic and has spent his whole career involved in academic writing and scholarship and things like that, and most certainly someone who believes in it. But I personally find professional writing more interesting. And what I was saying before is there's four things to keep in mind as you're beginning your projects, your team projects. And I think if you do, then they will be less irritating and much more fun. The first one, this is a summary or a recapitulation. I'll do it fast because I talked about this, and I don't want to bore you. First of all, as I was saying, a key thing, if not the key thing, in professional writing is the importance of relationship and rapport. And I want you to work on this in your projects and be very patient with your coworkers, your fellow students, because I realize that sometimes dovetailing schedules is very difficult, but that's the way it is at work as well. I mean, it's no easier at work. It might be a little more obvious as to how to get schedules to dovetail, but I can't tell you how many times that I've pulled my hair out over exactly this issue. And what tends to happen is you'll be in a group of 4 or 5, and 1 or 2 or 3 or all, the members of the group will have other obligations that make it all but impossible for them to really focus. And that leaves the situation that some of you find yourselves in now, where there is an absence of equilibrium between the tasks. And I'm going to take this up again in a separate video because I know it's something important, but right now the thing that I want you to understand is the principle, that is, it happens all the time, and it's usually unavoidable. Okay, the second point that I'm making is the assignment or the instructions themselves from your supervisors, from your unit, from the corporation, from whatever it is, are always shifting. And this idea that you have one set of instructions for eternity is ridiculous, because frankly, this is the thing that it never happens. I mean, this is really what I truly want to say. Once again, as I've always said, I mean, I did this hundreds, thousands of times, and I can remember the time when the pathway and the instructions and the target was didn't change, and this is, that is, it basically doesn't happen. Things shift all the time. Okay, that has a direct consequence, and that is the assignment of tasks and the planned tasking also changes. And the fourth thing here, in a way, is the most important for you to, one of the very important things that to grasp, and that is the result will be imperfect, and you should not, expect like an airtight, picture perfect product. And that's not even a good thing, because the point that I was making at the end of the other video was this: that is the loose ends, the problematic areas, the parts of your own project that you don't understand, are in fact your keys or your clues or your pathways to understanding the whole project more deeply. And you want to learn how to use these flaws in the system, so to speak, these things that you don't understand, and turn them into learning moments and moments of insight and epiphany. And this admittedly takes a lot of practice. It's not something that you learn in a single semester by any means, but experiencing it is a very important thing. And once again, that's why I always say that if the team project in an academic course don't go so well, or there's hiccups and things get erratic and incoherent, that it's actually to the benefit of the students. Whereas, I could certainly set this up so it's easy to do, and that there's no problems that arise. That would be easy, but that would be unrealistic, and that would not really help you. And so all the ups and downs and the confusion and things like that, to me that's just as important as anything else that we learn in the course. Okay, that is, it's a friendly chaos. It's a chaos that teaches you the realities of writing in a professional context. Now, I want to say one more thing by way of conclusion here. The thing to keep in mind, I think the key thing to keep in mind is, and once again, this is an incredible contrast with academic writing, because usually until you're a professor, let me say it like that, and even then, your research papers and your term papers and your essays, whatever they happen to be, they're one and done. That is to say, when you're done with them, you're done with them. Okay, and the exact opposite is the case in professional writing. You finish your project, and that is the moment where you reposition, where you rethink, where you reformulate, and you get ready basically to do it again. And sometimes, and this has different, there's different levels of completion. Sometimes you'll finish a paper, and it will be okay, and it will basically correspond to what your supervisor was looking for. Okay, and that's good, I guess. But there's another situation which happens much more frequently, and that is once you're done with it. Then once you're done with the assignment, then you begin to realize a couple of things. Either there's a lot more to say, or secondly, you understand how to better formulate the whole issue. And this is, I think, really good. And this is I think this will be one of the primary things you learn from Comp 210. That is to say, when you're done with a writing project, you're not really done with it, because once again, as professionals writing really important documents, being able to present something to your coworkers and receive feedback and constructive criticism, destructive criticism is a really good thing. So it's much more of a flowing, natural process. It's also I think a better learning experience. Okay, so there's all this. The two videos are a kind of roundabout way of saying you should relax and just do your best in this project. And you know that you have my support at many levels. Number one, if you need assistance, let's do the 3 levels. If you need assistance, I can always help you. Please take me up on my offer. I always say I'll give you a call. I'm happy to do that. It's not, it's not an imposition at all. Sometimes I know it's a little bit weird, to think, oh, I'm going to talk to my professor at 8:30 at night. But trust me, those conversations will be very productive. They will be short. They rarely take more than 10 minutes. And they help you a lot. Okay, that's one. That is, I'm here to help you. Secondly, let's do a worst case scenario very briefly. You see me bend forward to make sure, because I don't want this to go into 3 videos. Let's do a worst case scenario. Let's say the project turns into a big mess. Please don't worry about it, okay? Just make contact with me, and I will sort everything out for you, okay? This is something that I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. It's one of the things I'm kind of in a way, specialist at doing. And because I'm so protective of my students, the last thing that I want you to do is do all-nighters and stuff like that, to have caffeine frenzies and things. I don't really want you to do that. I want you to work hard, but I don't want you to feel anxiety about this, anything it comes to. There's no reason for it. If you're running late with the assignment, if your grades are suffering a little bit, just contact me and I'll work with you. I really try to give the best grades possible, okay? And that's sort of part of my educational philosophy. Okay, the third point here is that as we're completing this, remember that I really believe in resubmissions, and I believe in touching the papers up after they're formally handed in. And there's a reason for this. You shouldn't think that I'm just trying to be a great chap, which maybe I am. But the key thing here is that conforms to the realities of work, because once again, it happens all the time. You finish a project, new data, new information, new opinions or whatever come in, and you just end up redoing it. So that's not sort of my policies. My administrative policies in 210 are very close to the realities of professional life. Okay, I wanted to finish here by doing a quick apology. I didn't plan on talking this long. I was hoping for shorter videos, but the other thing is really enjoy your holiday. Feel free to submit your assignments somewhat late. And once again, let me emphasize, if you need assistance, if you start to feel frustrated, just contact me, okay? I'll smooth everything out for you. And I look forward to working with you in the last month and a half of the class. I think month and a half is right. I have to count the weeks there. April is a little more than a month now. Okay, so once again, thank you very much for your patience, and enjoy this project. It's a very valuable and very interesting project. Take care, everyone. Enjoy your weekend.